stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time.
Why, hello everybody, 'tis Irata, the furry king of awesome, and welcome to another exciting Rated Awesome review show. This is a special, of course, is the awesome top 20 movies of 2018. Yes, I know we're a little bit later than some of the other critics, but we wanted to flesh out possible contenders, and we're glad we did because definitely a few of them are on this list. It was pretty difficult to narrow our picks down to an awesome top 20. We found it much more difficult than past years because there's been so many great movies that came out in 2018. Our top 11 through 20 are all rated 4.5 stars, rated fantastic. Myself and other animal critics, we've all been granted the gift of comedy and film prowess. We saw a lot of movies this year, and unfortunately, it seems like several of our most anticipated movies kind of were just okay or mediocre or rated excellent, which is 4 stars, and especially in the horror genre. All right, let's start with number 20.
A simple favor, most similar to Gone Girl in the best ways, had mysterious characters and a plot that unwinded slowly, with twists and turns around every corner. This is one of the most satisfying thrillers of the year. Anna Kendrick was pretty good, but Blake, this is totally new role for her. Whenever she was on screen, it was El Fuego. It had a lot of flavor, a French soundtrack, a couple of weird things. It featured one of the most terrifying things of the year, that nude painting. It was coming at me. Stop it! This is director Paul Feig stepping out of his comfort zone and making something totally different. A sleek, sexy murder mystery.
Number 19, Searching. Hey everyone, for our next movie, I'm going to throw it to one of our other animal critics. Here we go.
Clearly one of the most ingenious and unique thrillers of the year. John Cho carries the movie as he's searching for his daughter, and it's such an organic process. He's looking all over the internet. It's a feature-length film shown completely via screens, either on the computer or on phones. We've only seen that before on the wildly hilarious Modern Family episode. And we also hear that the Unfriended series kind of does it, but probably nowhere near as good as this one. It was suspenseful and riveting, keeping you guessing. It's a whodunit, it's a why they do it, it's a how they do it, how they get away with it. Deborah Messing as a cop on the case also does a great job. It's interesting that these two actors mostly come from comedies. When we heard about this and saw the trailer, we thought it was intriguing, and we're glad that it had a very satisfying end. The director also put in a secret secondary plot, which we learned from Let Me Explain. So if you got a real eagle eye, you can check some of the background windows and find a whole new story. We always appreciate layers here. Rated Awesome to Awful.
Number 18,
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, maybe I'm a little biased, hence what kind of species I am. The first half was really adventurous. The second half was more of a horror movie, more akin to director J.A. Bayona's skill set. We're super stoked to find out what original director Colin Trevorrow has in store for the third one. And our biggest complaint, and a lot of people's, are that this borrows or steals or rip-offs The Lost World Jurassic Park way too much. It's not as memorable as the first one or anywhere near as good as the first 2 Jurassic Park movies, but dude, we still really enjoyed it as a cool thriller sci-fi adventure.
Number 17,
Ready Player One. It's a rocking roller coaster through different worlds and dimensions and dreamscapes. A world where you can be anybody you want and any kind of avatar and see so many intellectual properties all mixing together. The most Easter eggs we've ever seen. It was so much fun to try to find the different ones in each scene, so it's got so much rewatch value. It's another quality hit for director Steven Spielberg, who does this kind of fun action adventures like nobody else in the business. Some of the best action scenes were in this movie. We really love the first race especially. This might be the only place you'll ever see some of these intellectual properties together, like Jurassic Park's Rexy and King Kong. Other than some things like the time span and the romantic subplot were done better in the book. This is a much more palatable and accessible kind of movie for everybody. The cast is swell, but we really enjoyed seeing Ben Mendelsohn as yet another very dastardly villain. Once you get over the CGI extremism of it, there's really a quality adventure there.
Number 16, Deadpool 2. We thought that the original Deadpool was slightly better than this one. Deadpool 2 manages to kind of showcase a less annoying Deadpool. The inclusion of Zazie Beetz Domino as a lucky assassin. She was phenomenal and super sexy. She's also a smart ass. Josh Brolin as Cable was also very good. It works well as a sequel, whereas the first one is a love story. This one's a family story. It's got some nice surprises in there. A little bit of a spoiler. Juggernaut is in his best incarnation. Very cool and destructive. They kind of brought the story and the level of intensity up a notch, but still making it very funny and entertaining. It also deepened Wade's character as someone who really cares for someone else besides himself for the first time in his life, maybe. Upon rewatch, the Super Duper cut at least features more of the reasons why we should care for this wayward young man. The way that they feature music was also very smart. They play up jokes like Cable hitting dubstep and Deadpool liking Dolly Parton, and they actually juxtapose those songs in the middle of these crazy action violent scenes. Pretty brilliant. The only main problem that we had, why it's not in our awesome top 10, some of the things that they kind of threw away, they kind of rushed. The very quick section of X-Force just seemed very much like an afterthought or like a slap in the face to the audience. The way that they dealt with these characters and they didn't develop them or give us reasons why they are in this death-defying team. It might be for money, but that's just a guess. Another problem we had is it seems like they kind of stuffed too much plot in this little movie. It kind of felt like how they did the same kind of thing with Anchorman 2. But overall, still a good way of satirizing superhero movies. Number 15.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. It was just about as good as the first one back in 2010, and way better than the Emoji Movie. John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman have excellent chemistry together. They did a great job enriching the characters even further. This is a much more adult story than the first one, more about finding your place in life, kind of an existential crisis. Also, what happens when friends kind of go different ways in their careers or life. We also loved all the Disney princesses. They stole the scenes they were in. So many Easter eggs. Only Ready Player One has more this year. We kind of wish some of the other supporting characters from the last movie were in it more, like Fix-It Felix and his wife. Besides that, still a really excellent movie.
Number 14. Fahrenheit 11/9. We firmly believe that whether you're a Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, independent, or an idiot, you should see this movie immediately. It's important for everyone to know what's going on in the world, how there's atrocities like the Flint water crisis, and tragedies like the Parkland shootings, and also teachers not being paid so they have to fight back and protest. These three things are covered extensively. It's easily one of the best documentaries of the year. It's exciting and entertaining. It's funny, it's subversive, dark humor, and political satire, of course, like Michael Moore does. He shows footage and real stats to back up his claims, along with a healthy dose of creative license to make the clown-in-chief look like an absolute idiot. Believe me, it's not hard to do. The political satirist in me was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see much of the huge barrage of scandals that happens on a daily basis in the White House now, the rampant corruption. It's more about where we are as a people, how less than half of America was duped into voting this con man in, and where we'll go in the future. You can see I am on the liberal, the sensible side. I don't fall for shenanigans, and I know a fraudulent sociopath when I see them. I'm doing this review from the set of our show Political Party Animals, where we make fun of the King Emperor and also expose the many proven lies that he spouts from his mouth hole on an hourly basis. Like any good documentary, makes you feel things. You get educated on some of the conspiracies going on we never heard about. A deeper understanding in some of the corrupt politicians out there and the system as a whole failing. A major theme is fighting injustice and using protests as a powerful legal maneuver. It's always satisfying to see the underdog fight the power and here it's done so well. Number 13.
Smallfoot. It was such an original idea. This time a different perspective, a Bigfoot trying to find a human, very different than we've seen in the past. One Blave, one Migo. No, not the terrible rap group Migos, but Migo, played by Channing Tatum. He meets James Corden, who is the main human, a documentarian, and they learn to accept each other even though they can't speak the same language. I thought the use of different languages was really, really smart. Seeing from him, it was gibberish. And seeing from our perspective, it was a bunch of growling, a very scary creature.
Hi, I'm...
And yet they learn to like each other. That's a great message for kids about tolerance and acceptance, learning from other cultures, and defying corruption for the truth. It kind of blew me away with how deep it was. Sure, it's got some great slapstick, a lot of times very Looney Toony, much like a Wile E. Coyote kind of sketch. They really fleshed out the characters up to a Pixar or even DreamWorks level, but this is neither. It's actually Warner Animation Group. Similar to the Trolls movie, this is also a musical and actually had some pretty catchy numbers. One of our favorites was the rap actually done by Common, which is a very satisfying movie, way better than we thought it would be.
Number 12.
The Grinch. This is Dr. Seuss's and Illumination teaming up to bring us a delightful, joyful, family fun movie. They really filled in the gaps of the live-action movie with Jim Carrey and also the original cartoon. It was actually quite funny at times. There was some good physical humor and adult-type humor. Pretty much great for all ages.
Number 11. Black Panther. One of the biggest hits of the year by far, and also a very different kind of Marvel movie. It's kind of a self-contained story, one that we didn't really know much about, but certainly the black half of me is very proud that this was such a cultural phenomenon. Wakanda forever indeed. We were first introduced to the African Batman in Captain America Civil War, and he just kills it in his scenes. Here we get to see his kingdom of Wakanda, and he's with a pretty amazing supporting cast as well. Pretty much the very best of Black Hollywood. So many great Oscar-winning and nominated actors and actresses, as Marvel usually does. The technology was just so cool. The kind of realistic futurism that was displayed here was very satisfying to see and exciting, because hopefully we'll see some of these things in the future. It's a bit of a CGI fuckfest at times, but still very exciting. Great action sequences, really deep characters. Amazing acting by Chadwick Boseman especially. And for now, Marvel has seemed to have solved the non-complex, this nearing one-dimensional villain. And in this one, Warmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, is probably one of the best Marvel villains that we have out there. You actually kind of understand where he's coming from and why he feels so disengendered in his entire life. And now that he has power, he wants to come up. Of course, he's also kind of a madman. He's doing it in extreme ways. Well, we're very excited to see what else happens in Wakanda, what the future holds for him, and maybe we'll see more of the sister as well, and his Royal League of Secret Service. If I had one request for in the future, I'd say a little bit more animals, please. We enjoyed the armored rhinos, but there's a lot of animals in Africa. Let's showcase some of those, huh? Alright, these movies have been pretty great, but stick with us for part 2, our awesome top 10 movies of 2018. So join us there for more great clips and animal criticisms that you can't find anywhere else on the interwebs. This year in 2019, we'll be having more animal critics. I've befriended a few throughout the last few months, and I've got them to come on over and give their own opinions. So more opinions, more magical talking animals. Pretty great time to be alive and be a movie fan. Let us know what you think, your thoughts of the review or the movie. Type there. Use your little human fingers to type some comments there. Really appreciate that. Let us know who some of your favorite critics are. We have a few in the zoo now. Hey everybody, I want to thank you so much for watching our videos. Continue to check us out on Facebook. We've got our almost daily movie fix where we actually pre-review movies in their written form. Or if we've seen it, we give you a review as well as all the facts. Make sure you watch lots of movies. Now, go forth and be awesome!
Feel like that boy with a shiny new toy, and there's nowhere to go but up.